Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm doing good. Welcome to my channel, Tell It Like It Is, and my other podcast, From Darkness to Light Recovery Coaching. I'm your host. Y'all know who I am by now. Thank you guys for joining me for this episode. If you guys like the commentary, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive notifications of my videos and my podcast. This podcast is going on all of my podcasts for different reasons, but mainly it's going to be on my happier you leads to a healthier you. And the reason I wanted to do this particular podcast today because I went to the doctor's office today and I got a checkup today because my throat had been bothering me for the past couple of days. And I want to talk about it because it's a shame that we're in a country where it's supposed to have the best healthcare in the world, and yet people are dying because they are either been misdiagnosed or they didn't get the answers in time as far as what they were dealing with and the treatment before it's too late. Now, a little about me. I'm a certified recovery life coach, all about helping people in their paths, their journeys, and their purpose to a new and better you through self-discovery. I help people with multiple versions of their self discovery as far as health and wellness, relationships, romantically, family, friends, jobs, as far as people that are recovering from financial situations, people that are recovering from mental health and psychological issues, trauma, depression, anxiety, codependency, anorexia, bulimia. When it comes to people that are, as far as self-esteem, self-worth, or self-values, are based upon other people being Captain Save-A-Hoes, Build-A-Bears, and Build-A-Dolls, and seat fillers, and multiple other things when it comes to recovery. So I have 10 podcasts that are based upon these type of recoveries, and this particular one is about health and wellness, how to become healthy despite the fact of being misdiagnosed, despite the fact of not having any answers. How do you treat yourself? But mainly it's about keeping yourself healthy when it comes to the mind, the body, and the spirit. So we're going to talk about a couple things. I'm going to introduce something that I will be talking about in my next episode on Sunday. Now, before I get into that, I'm going to tell you what made me get on this topic. I went to the doctor's office today. I found that I have thrash. I don't even know where I got thrash from, but I have thrash. That's part of the problem with my throat is that I've had thrash and didn't know I had it. So I got to get medication that I have to swish in my mouth and then swallow in order for it to help with the thrash. Thrash can also cause swelling. So I ain't no telling how long I've had it. And he said he's surprised when I went to the emergency room 2 weeks ago, they didn't notice it because they didn't look for it. That's what made me have this conversation because me and my doctor were sitting there talking. When I tell you, I was telling him everything I thought it could be. He checked my throat. He said, "No, your thyroid is okay, but I still want to get an ultrasound done. Going to the EMT, and I still want them to check to just make sure, check your ears and check your throat and make sure there's no infections." He also said that the back of my neck might be why my throat is hurting because I have arthritis in my neck and something else, some type of disc issue in the back of my neck. And he said that might be what's causing problems. So he said if my neck hurts, to start getting up and just start doing stretches and moving my neck like in a circular motion. And also, I have a massager that's over there that I'm gonna start. No, it's over there that I'm gonna start using on my neck every single day to massage it. And then he said massaging is also helpful. So I'm making me an appointment to a masseuse to go get my neck looked at. But I also want to. He also talked about I'm pre-diabetic, so I'm not diabetic, but I am pre-diabetic. We did talk about as far as cause I told him I only eat twice a day, but yet I'm not losing no weight. So me and this woman, we were in the car when she was taking me home, and we were talking about multiple different topics, but we talked about health. And we were both saying how we're big breasted and how hard it is to lose weight in your breast area because your breast area is one of the hardest things to lose as a woman when it comes to your weight. So she was saying how she would go to the gym, she'd eat healthy, and still couldn't lose no weight. So that right there tell you that it's thyroid issues, because thyroids, if you have a hypo or hypothyroid issue, yeah, losing weight is gonna be almost impossible. And then if you have digestive issues as well, it's hard to lose weight, because if you have an infection in your stomach, like I do, that could be why. When you have damage to your stomach, or let's say you don't have a gallbladder and you're eating a bunch of foods that you shouldn't be eating, what happens is the bile is not releasing, which in terms is going to make you want to throw up. So being that I don't have a gallbladder, I have to keep reminding myself it's certain foods I just can't eat. It's hard. I ain't gonna lie. It's hard when you have something removed, because now your whole way of life got to change. So I wanted to have this conversation because my gallbladder shouldn't be gone. If they would have caught it, I had went to the doctor like 6 months prior to my gallbladder being removed about my stomach. They never paid attention to my gallbladder. So I've been having medical issues since 1998 was when I had my car accident. Two of them that was not even 8 hours apart. I have been telling them about my throat for the past 10 years. And they would say, "Oh, it's nothing, and we can't find anything." That's because they didn't look for it, and that's because they didn't tell me to go to an EMT. If I'd have went to an EMT, the EMT would have told me that my thyroid was swollen, because I don't eat. I don't eat a lot. I don't. I do not eat a lot at all, and yet I can't lose weight. I go to the gym. I used to work out 5 days a week and could not lose weight. Now, what could that be? So now I'm like, okay, if I can't lose weight by going to the gym, but here's the kicker. I'm losing by the crazy part is I'm 219. I gained a couple pounds. But yet and still I don't eat. So how am I gaining all this weight and I'm not eating? And the doctor told me, he said, "What do you eat?" He said, "Do you eat spaghetti?" I said, "Not that often." He said, "Do you eat a lot of like pasta?" I said, "No, not really." He said, "Do you drink coffee?" I said, "Once a day." He was asking me stuff about things I eat. He said, "No, it's your thyroid, honey. It's either that or my digestive system. They gotta do a colonoscopy. If there's a poppet, that the things that can cause colon cancer. If I have another one, they're gonna have to remove it. If there's an infection, then they have to basically give me medication for the infection, so that way the infection will go away. If that's the case, then when they give me the medication, if I eat right the way I'm supposed to and eat only the things I'm supposed to eat by having no gallbladder, then I should be okay. But if I eat when I ain't supposed to, it ain't gonna end well. Now, am I okay with not eating certain things? I'm okay with it if it's gonna help my health. But why did it take me to 2024 when I've been dealing with this since 2000 and Jesus, 1998? Well, at least I know what's going on. But when he did go and he told me to go, it did make my throat feel better. When he stuck the thing down my throat, it did make it feel better, because now I don't feel whatever it is that's stuck in my throat. But the point is, like he said, there is some reason why when food gets on both sides of my throat, it's hard for me to chew. And he also told me that I'm having issues with my sinuses, so I had to take sinus medicine when I got home. But he said, "We're gonna do these tests and you're gonna do the thing for the thrash." So hopefully my other medicine will be ready tomorrow, and then I'm gonna order it and have them bring it either Monday or Tuesday. Start using it Monday or Tuesday. I had to change my toothbrush, so now I gotta get this thing to scrub my tongue to get the thrash off of my tongue. So we're gonna start there. If that is what's the cause of it, then cool. I gotta get a root thing removed out of this one on this side. So I'm gonna try that and see if that'll help. And I told him, I said, "It's amazing how you go to the dentist and they don't even do cleanings anymore at all. When did they stop doing cleanings at this point?" So at the end of the day, like I said, I have been to many doctors, and I mean a lot of doctors, and they misdiagnosed me, told me it was all in my head, that there was nothing wrong, and they couldn't find nothing. And that's because doctors don't think to, they don't look at everything. They don't look at everything. They don't test you for everything. Like if you go to Turkey or you go to all these other countries, they test you for everything. Your first examination, they test you for everything. They test you for cancer, they test you for everything. Whereas in this country, they don't do that. Now, in some states, you can't, the x-rays are not even in the same building. You got to pretty much make an appointment to go get a ultrasound done, or you got to make an appointment to go get something else. I'm like, jeez. It is insane. But like I said, at the end of the day, you gotta make changes. I know your mind is like strong because some of us are mentally strong, but physically we're not as much. But to tell you a story, there was a lady, her name, I ain't gonna say her name, but anyway, she's no longer here. She's gone now. But she had been going to the doctor every way she's supposed to. Not once did they tell her she had cancer. Well, one day she ended up going to the hospital and they told her she had stage 4 cancer. She had maybe a couple of weeks to live. She died in 2 weeks. Now, she's been going back and forth to the doctor for the longest, and not once did they check her for cancer. And we were trying to get her to the cancer centers to see what they could do to help her, but she passed away before we can get her there. It's a lot of people that are passing away that don't know they have cancer or don't know they have certain things. Why? Because now these doctors are not testing for it. Now, if you don't have a uterus anymore, they don't even do the vaginal examinations anymore after a certain age. So if you don't have a uterus or you got your tube tied, they don't even do the ultrasound. You go to the dentist, they don't even do cleanings at all. They only do deep cleanings. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. I thought y'all was supposed to do cleanings, because whether I do a deep cleaning or not, the least thing you can do is do the cleanings. But no, now they want you to do a deep cleaning. And I'm like, okay, well, I would think the deep cleaning would be included. Nope. If you look at the dental insurances, the dental insurance are the worst insurances out of every insurance that there is, sadly enough. Because the dental insurance, they only pay 50%. You got to pay the rest of it. The one thing that's the most important thing that really should be the thing that matters the most, the insurance sucks the worst. And then, like my glasses, for example, I don't know who did my glasses, but they messed them up. So now I got to go get more glasses this year. So it's sad that a lot of people, when it comes to their health and wellness, go to the hospitals. There's nothing to change. You go to the hospital and they only keep you in the hospital for 4 days. Okay. If they can't find nothing, they're gonna send you home. Like they'll send you outpatient to go to the EMT versus the EMT coming to the hospital and doing the test at the hospital. No, nope, they ain't gonna do that. So a lot has changed when it comes to health, because like I said, when I was a kid, when we went to the dentist, the whole point of going to the dentist was to get a cleaning. They don't even do that anymore. All they do is check your teeth, and that's pretty much about it. My whole thing is, I would still suggest doing a cleaning regardless if this person can't pay to do a deep cleaning. Y'all need to do better when it comes to insurances. And then if you are in the hospital and they can't find anything, so let's say you have chronic pain. Chronic pain is not something you're going to see on an x-ray or an MRI. Then you'd have to have a neurologist to come in to check your pain levels or pain management. Then if you go to the pain management, they're going to make you take a drug test that they're not going to cover. And then you got to pay $200 and something for that drug test that basically they don't pay for, even though you don't do drugs. It's always something. So there's a lot of people that are passing away because they're not getting their diagnosis in time to be treated. That's why so many people are going overseas to go get treatment, because number one is cheaper, and number two, they do a full examination. They check everything. They don't just go off the symptoms that you got. They check everything: cancer, leukemia, heart disease, kidney disease, lung disease, liver disease. They check everything. And they give you a full evaluation. If you want to go and get your teeth done, you can go right to the hospital in Turkey, and they'll do your teeth, they'll do your breast surgery, they'll do anything that you need done, they will do it. And it's only $810. So you mean to tell me I can pay $810 and get a full regimen, but yet in the United States I have to wait, I have to go to multiple doctors just to get answers? It's sad that people got to leave the state just to get answers. And then the crazy part is, what a lot of these doctors don't know is that, and I'll give you an example of something. Let's say a doctor did a procedure, right? Let's say your insurance not going to cover it because they had a similar procedure, that same day. They're not going to pay for it. Oh, what type of content creator are you? I deal with different types of well, this is just my personal. I have a whole nother channel that's all about my life coaching, but this one is more or less personal. It's just my one where, say, for example, I might see something and I might decide to talk about it. Like, I might talk about DDG and Holly breaking up and looking at it from a life coaching perspective. But the ones where I talk about stuff like this, occasionally it might be on this channel, it might be on another channel. So I have a channel that's specifically just for my life coaching, and that's it. This one's a little bit more personal. But yeah, I am a life coach. So when it comes down to your health and wellness, these two ain't always gonna agree. Sometimes you may be so mentally strong that physically you are tearing yourself apart. Your decisions, your choices, your actions and behavior definitely will mess up your health and wellness, because when you're not understanding that the damage that you do here can be done here. So even though you might be good physically, that don't mean that mentally there's not going to be damage. So for example, you can have people that can mentally mess you up, and you can have people that physically mess you up. It just depends. But a lot of times what we do is we don't go to the hospital when it comes to domestic violence. So you don't know what damage is being done to you, because mentally you're like, I can handle the abuse, but physically, this person is beating on you every single day and causing damage. Plastic surgery later on down the line, it's gonna cause damage. So what you do in emotion what you do when you're younger is gonna affect you when you're older. If you have multiple car accidents, it's gonna affect you later on in life. It just is. You don't know how until you start getting older. You having kids can affect you. The bottom part of your stomach when you have a baby does not go back to normal. You're gonna have surgery to have that fixed. Some people go get liposuction and still look like they ain't lost a bit more weight, because with liposuction you got to work out. With liposuction, any type of tummy tucks, you got to work out. You just can't go get a tummy tuck and a liposuction and think, okay, my body's gonna go back to being skinny, because it doesn't work like that. It don't. There's a lot of things that we're doing to our bodies to become more externally pleasable, and yet you're destroying yourself internally. It's just like what you're willing to do to be loved, liked, appreciated, valued, wanted, needed, to be a part of something, to be validated, to be accepted, for somebody to know your worth, and to prove something to people. You don't know the damage that you're doing, because what you're willing to do for these things is what's going to cause you damage. So, for example, let's say, for example, you have dealt with all your past issues, you have nothing that's bothering you. Somebody comes into your world and push you through the same thing you just went through. So yeah, physically you might say, okay, I'm able to handle it, but mentally you may not, because it reminds you of trauma. And a lot of people don't understand. You have a lot of people that lie about their trauma. They'll say, oh, I went through this. No, you're just saying that because you want a trauma bond with me. You're saying that because you want me to let my guard down. So you got to be mindful of that. So it's very important that you take care of yourself and you make sure you're good. So if the mind and body don't agree, then trust me, you want to listen. So for example, when let me tell you how I ended up not being able to drive. True story. I had went to my mom and them house that day. I hit the back of my neck, and now I know how it happened. I hit the back of my neck and did not go to the emergency room. I should have went that day. I didn't go. And when I was on my way home, I started feeling really, really weird. I didn't even realize what was going on. And so I hit my head 2 or 3 more times, which just made it worse. But every time I hit the back of my neck, I noticed the next day I couldn't drive. And I just now realize this now. So when you hit the back of your neck, what happens is every time something hits the back of your neck, it's going to trigger, especially if you have a bulging disc or arthritis, it's going to trigger it and it's going to hurt. It's going to mess with your driving. Because what it is, in this part right here, it goes here or it goes down. Your spine is what communicates from the mind to the body is your spine. And all the nerve endings that go from your spine. So if your spine is messed up, that means it's not sending signals from the brain to the body. So even though you're fine when you're driving, but your body's not, because of how it's reacting to things. Your body reacts to things sometimes before your mind does. So sometimes you may be mentally fine. It doesn't mean that physically you're not. So yes, there is a such thing as physical anxiety. Physical anxiety is when the body thinks something is wrong and it just pretty much reacts to it. Which is the reason why a lot of times when you're in your feelings, why you react the way you do, is because of physical anxiety. But physical anxiety is completely different, because it can be panic attacks. And the reason why people react the way they do when it comes to anxiety physically is because you're reacting off what your brain is being presented. So for example, you have a negative person saying you're ugly, you're fat, you're this and that. And at first you're ignoring it because you're like, no, I ain't even gonna mess with it. But then somebody says something that triggers this part. So even though your brain is like, I ain't worried about it, your body's like, absolutely not. Are you gonna sit up here and talk to me like you lost your mind? So sometimes you'll start talking and it's not your brain, it is your body saying, look, let me tell you something, you ain't gonna sit up here and talk to me like you done lost your mind. You are not gonna sit up here and do nothing. That's why you react the way you do, because your emotions are in action. They are. So anything your emotions hear, they react to it. So somebody says something negative, either I'm gonna cuss you out, I'm gonna punch you in your face, one of the two. And that is not your mind, that is your body talking. Because your body did not like the way of what you said. And so even though your brain is like, I ain't even wasting my time with it. But if you don't say it literally that I ain't gonna let it bother me, your body's gonna react to it. Because a lot of times what people think is when you sit in silence, that you're thinking. No, you're not. You're not doing nothing when you're sitting in silence. You're not. You're just sitting there until you speak into existence what it is you want your body to do. It's gonna react because you're not saying it. So now when people say something, I'll be like, I ain't even gonna worry about it. It ain't that I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself saying, don't even react to it, it ain't worth it. And your body won't react to it. That's why when you take tests, you wonder why a lot of y'all fail, because you cannot be in silence. I'm telling you, when you sit there and read a book, you ain't doing it but looking at it. You're not reading it, you're looking at it. Because ask yourself, what did you read? You didn't remember nothing that you read. You can't read in silence. I don't know why everybody keeps saying that you cannot read in silence. The only thing you're going to do is look at the pages and skim through it, but you're not going to read it. You're not even going to comprehend it. So unless you actually sit down and speak it out loud, that is the only way your body is going to acknowledge it. It's the only way your mind is going to acknowledge it when your mouth speaks it. So for example, if I look at something, for example, and I'm looking at everything in my house, I can see everything and know exactly what it is. But if I say, "Oh, is that somebody about to be elected?" That's what caught my attention when I speak it into existence. There's no such thing as doing anything in silence because it just ain't. The only time you do something in silence when you don't want somebody to know what you're doing. But other than that, when you're sitting here and you're writing a book, actually you are in your mind has so many things in your brain. It ain't till you speak on it that it comes to fruition. So whatever it is that your five senses present to you every single day, whatever you choose to consume is what's gonna come out your mouth. That's just the way it is, and what you gonna act on. So, for example, if I'm walking and it's cold in my house, I'm gonna know it's cold in my house. But until I actually say, "Oh my God, it is cold in here," that's when my body's gonna react to it. But sometimes, if I'm not feeling well, my body's like, "I ain't doing nothing." So the nerve endings come to my mind and say, "I ain't doing nothing and I don't feel good." And then your doctor asking you, "Well, what's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I really couldn't tell you." Because the way you feel, your body's the only thing that knows how it feels. The problem is you don't know because mentally you're not feeling it. The only way you feel it is when your spine comes up to your brain and you saying, "Well, okay, I'll give you an example." The doctor asked me what made the ambulance come yesterday. I said, "Well, I don't. I ate something. It hit my throat the wrong way. Next thing I know, I kept coughing. The next thing I know, I felt really woozy, and all I know is I just felt like my heart rate was accelerating, and that's all I know." And when they came, my heart rate was 178, and my heart rate was 102. My heart rate always goes, it fluctuates. So they was like I was having a panic attack because, like I said, your body reacts to whatever it is it feels. So if your throat hurt, your brain is not thinking something's wrong. Your body is reacting because something is wrong. Your mind is supposed to fix whatever it is that's wrong. So when your body is like, I don't, when you're saying I don't feel good, you got to figure out what is wrong and what you need to do to treat it, and that's what you got to do. But if these two don't agree, and they don't understand each other, guess what? Your mind ain't gonna know nothing's wrong with you. That's why now I know every single place I have pain. I ain't got to really even. It's to a point now. I have chronic pain so much. It's like every time it stops hurting here, it goes right down to my back, or it goes down to my leg, or I have some type of numbness, and I'm like, Jesus, because pain don't go nowhere. Physical pain is different than mental pain. Mental pain can go away if you just let it go. Mental pain will go away if you just let go of the emotions attached to it. It'll go away. That's all you gotta do, just let it go. All you gotta do is just let go of whatever it is that's holding you back. For those of you that got children with autism, your children can talk. They just don't want to. You're not giving them any inspiration to talk, and you're not making them talk. Honey, mine was nonverbal. Now he can't stop talking. I had a nonverbal child, and trust me, no, y'all need to start making them talk. And let me break down how you do that. I'm gonna break down how you get your kids to start talking for those of y'all who got children with autism and how you get them to start talking. Stop telling them they have to talk. So what you do is, like my son would say, he'll look at me. I'm like, what? And he would look at me. I said, nope, not till you tell me what it is that you want, or until you point to whatever it is that you want. So I would say words I was like, when he would go look for something, I would like, go to the dresser and go get this. He'll look at the dresser but didn't know what to get. So I would point to it and I would tell him what it was. I would like, this is blah blah blah. If you tell children with autism what it is, eventually they'll start saying it. Why? Because if they hear it enough, they'll repeat it. So how you get children with autism to talk, make them have to figure out what it is you're wanting them to get. So if you tell them to go to the cabinet and go pull out, say, some cereal out the top of the refrigerator, you say, go to the refrigerator and go pull out what's on the top of the refrigerator. They'll look at it, but they won't know what to do because they don't know what it is. So when you pick up whatever the cereal, whatever it is, tell them what it is. So that way, next time when you say go in there and go in there and get in the refrigerator, they'll be able to tell you what it is because they can talk. It's just you're not giving them the inspiration to want to talk. So it's not that these children are nonverbal. It's just the fact that you're going to have to teach them how to talk because taking them to speech is only going to teach them the basic. It's not going to teach them how to make sentences. Believe me, I had the same issues. I stopped taking mine to speech therapy and I said, you know what, I'm doing myself. And I'm telling you right now, if I tell my son right now, go down the kitchen and go pull such and such, he know exactly what to go for, know exactly what to look for. And I say, what is this? He said, this oatmeal. Okay, what is this? This such and such. Okay. Now he may not have conversations, but he knows how to go in there and say, Mommy, I want some cereal. Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want that. Now it may take him a little bit to say it because, his mind works faster than the way he speaks. And he mumbles. I don't had to get him out of now he talks fluently. He's like, Mommy, I want this now. If he start mumbling, then no, slow down. You slow down. Slow your butt down. Cause my son has a tendency that he does things at the speed of light. And I'm like, slow down. Slow down and enunciate your words. So now he can say, Mommy, I want this. He'll tell me all the time, Mommy, I'm a grown man. Okay. All right, baby. Okay, you're a grown man, sweetheart. That's all I can say. So now he can say, Mommy, I want this game. What's the name of it? He'll write it down. And it may not be perfect, and I'm okay with that. But he writes down his Christmas list. His letters be all big. And I'm like, well, what is this? Because they're all together. I'm like, baby, separate your words. Because I can't understand it. So he'll show me what it is, and I'll write it. I go back and write it so I know what it is. But at least he tried. But y'all can't just think, okay, my child is nonverbal and I'm just going to give up. Don't do that. Don't give up because your child is nonverbal. It is okay that they're not verbal right now. You got to work with them and say, what is this? And if you say it enough to them, they repeat it. Eventually, one day they might say, Mom. And you're in shock. Like, that's what happened to this one lady. She kept saying, I love you every day. And one day he just said, I love you too. And she was in shock. And so I'm saying, you got to give them the inspiration to want to talk. And all you got to do is just sit down with them and open a book. Just sit down with them, read to them, talk to them. And even though it may seem like they don't understand, it's not the fact that they don't understand. They just can't talk back to you. So once you start showing them and repeating things, trust me, all of a sudden out of nowhere, they'll just start singing or doing something and it will completely shock you. So just don't think because your child is nonverbal that they can't talk. It's just the fact you have to constantly show them what it is that you are talking about. Because once they start learning what stuff is, they can go in there and get it. You say, can you go in the kitchen and go get that? They'll go get it. And they're like, here. And you're like, what did you just say? Here. Because like I said, they pay attention. Now, don't get me wrong, they might say some cuss words because you've been cursing, but I'm just saying. But yeah, my son started talking. It was late. He was nonverbal until he was like 10, 11 years old. But he would say little small things and say little things. But I told him, no, you're going to have to talk. I'm sorry, you're going to have to talk. So he started talking because I wasn't going to do nothing until he started talking. So my baby just started talking. So that's the same thing with autism and mental health disabilities. It's the same thing. It's not that these kids are incompetent. They're very smart. It's just the fact you have to learn how they communicate. Some of them communicate through machines where they type in and it talks for them because they really cannot talk because of throat issues or whatever the case may be. But with children with autism, they actually can talk. You just have to work with them to give them the inspiration to want to talk. So if you tell them I ain't doing nothing until you tell me what it is that you want, they'll try to enunciate it. But like I said, to the things that they want, teach them what it is. Say it enough times and they'll say water. Like one day he might say water. And then once he starts saying one word, then you're gonna start teaching him to say, I want water. I want this. So you start off with them small sentences, and then eventually their vocabulary, they won't stop talking. They'll be like, Mommy, guess what? I did this, and Mommy, guess what? Blah blah blah. Then you're not gonna get him to shut up, because at that point he's talking, and you can't really be mad at it, because at one time he wasn't talking at all. So just be thankful that he's talking. So again, they have a whole lifetime to learn things. Just don't think, oh my God, he has autism, and what am I gonna do, and how am I gonna handle it? The same way you do anything else. And with the grace of God, and God being first in your lives, and having faith, they'll catch up. My son is a phenomenal child. But you wouldn't know he had autism. You wouldn't know it. Not looking at him. You wouldn't know until he start talking. But like I said, he has a tendency to talk very fast. And then his brain works faster than his mouth does. So we have to, because I can tell he's thinking, he knows what he want to say. It just doesn't come out. So I have to kind of help him. And that's what you need to do. If they're trying to say something, try to help them and get them to say yes or no. I started with yes or no. Do you want this? Yes or no? He was like, nope, no, yes. And then you start slowly working with language. It's a slow process, but I promise you it will work. But like I said, everything we do in life, we just think, oh my God, this person can't walk again. It's the end of the world. I'm gonna leave this person because they got a disability. I'm not gonna date this person because they got autism or Down syndrome. It's the same effect. It's the same effect. The way people focus on the negative of a person that ain't got nothing to do with behavior, ain't got nothing to do with choice, decisions, actions, and behavior, pros and cons, or morals, values, principles, and ethics, or critical, or consequences, repercussions, and karma. It got everything to do with, because somebody's overweight, they're considered fat. That's not true. Not true at all. Because some people gonna have a struggle losing weight. Some people are really gonna have a struggle, because at the end of the day, like I said, my recommendation for those of y'all trying to lose weight, please lose weight. Just look, number one, change this first. Before you start eating healthy, before you do anything else, change this here. Change your mindset. And what I mean by that is love the body that you're in right now. Love the person who you are right now. Just look at it like this. You're making improvements, not because you want to be drop dead gorgeous, not because you want to get plastic surgery. You just want to be healthy. That is the only reason you're doing it. You want to be healthy. If you lose weight because you want to be healthy, that should be the only reason why you do it. Now, if it just so happens when you lose weight, you find your husband, okay, cool, that's an added bonus, but it should not be the primary reason why you do something. And even if you can't get answers as far as from the doctors, as far as why you're going through what you're going through, this is when you're going to have to start going into holistic healing. Going into holistic healing as far as herbs and natural stuff. And if that means going to Dr. Sebi's retreat, if it means going to Turkey or Mexico or Canada, wherever you need to go get treatment, go get treatment. But the problem is, like I said, you got to be very careful when you go out of the country when it comes down to plastic surgery, because you don't know how or what's gonna happen. Because like I said, just like what happened with Jackie O, she went to Mexico to go get a mommy makeover, and what happened? She passed away, and nobody really knows why. You gotta. That's what I'm saying. Go get yourself checked out before you decide to get plastic surgery, because you don't know if there's something else wrong. Then you go get it done and kind of find out you had stomach issues. You gotta be very mindful of that. So again, before you start making these decisions to go get bigger breasts and bigger boobs, understand when you turn 50, they coming out. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that when you get older, that silicone got to come out. It's got to come out. That saline got to come out. It ain't supposed to be there nowhere. So when it comes to health and wellness, you're going to have to do your share of research on things. And you need to make sure that when you go to the doctor, understand these, it may not be the answers, but it's a start. It's a start. As long as you are yourself looking up things that's going to help you as far as holistic healing, as far as from outside, in other words, nature. That's the best medicine is nature. Sometimes it could be we're in the house a lot, we're not getting enough vitamin D. Honey, trust me, I need to get outside. I need to get outside a little bit more, but I had a bee in my backyard because I normally would go out there and sit outside. But because of the fact I found a wasp and a bee in my thing, and I'm allergic to both of them, so that ain't gonna work. So I'm hoping they're gonna be gone by it being that it's getting colder. I'm hoping they're gonna be gone so I can finally sit outside. And then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna start walking from one end of the building to the other end of the building and come back and just maybe do it a couple times and just do it back and forth. And ain't nothing wrong with it. Like I said, do what's best for you, what works for you, and make it a gradual. No, you just can't go in the gym and just say, okay, I'm gonna lose 100 pounds, drop them pounds, and then you sick. Why? Because your body's not used to losing that much weight. But see, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know if you've been having weight for all these years, you got to basically change things gradually. Your body is something. It has its own mind. So even though you're saying, okay, I'm gonna eat celery, I'm gonna eat vegetables, I'm gonna eat vegan, your body's gonna like, I don't want that. I want some McDonald's. Because your body's used to eating McDonald's. Your body's used to eating those things. So gradually wean yourself off of it. But like I said, when these doctors tell you that you're crazy, please do your research. Because eventually you will find a doctor that will help you and will make it so they find out what's going on. It's just in this country, everything is so expensive. And then you got to look at food. You got to look at the different foods. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to use the back of this right here. You can't really see it. But this is a cereal, a fruit graham cereal. You mainly eat these in the morning, but I eat them at night. Don't ask me why. All right. So if I'm looking at I'm going to use this one. This one's this ain't April. All right, this one has 130 calories, no cholesterol, no saturated or 3 grams of total fat, 0.5 saturated fat. Sodium is 2%, carbs is 25 grams, fiber is 2 grams, sugar is 11 grams, and added sugar is 20%. Protein is 2 grams. Now, I'm gonna show you the back. This is the back of it. So what I'm looking at is the back of it. Now, what I would do if I can't if it's something I can't understand, I'm gonna look at it. Now this has blueberry flavored filling. Now the only thing about this one, it does have sugar, corn syrup, blueberry puree, apple puree. So it has a lot of fruits in it. But see what a contradiction is the corn syrup and sugar. If this is supposed to be a healthy product, it should not have a lot. It doesn't really have a lot of sugar, but my point is if it's supposed to be healthy, why is there sugar in here? Just my question. So you got to be mindful of that. Now, there's a difference between dark cane sugar and white cane sugar. Dark cane sugar is sugar that is not processed. It's not where it's been all the nutrients has been taken out of it. So if you get cane sugar, make sure it's brown. Don't get the white cane sugar because the white cane sugar, it has all the nutrients has been taken out of it. But regular cane sugar you can use because at the same time it still has the nutrients that's in it, even though it's sugar. There's a difference between that cane sugar and the white cane sugar. The regular cane sugar, all that's in there is just cane sugar. It's just grinded, and the nutrients in it doesn't go anywhere because of the fact of that. So again, even though you may have these products here, and even though it might be organic, does not mean that these are healthy for you. Not saying that they're not. They're healthier than having candy. True. But these are something you eat in moderation. That's why I only ate one. I ain't this. So a lot of stuff you'd be amazed that got sugar in it that you wouldn't even think got sugar in it. So the only way you're not gonna have something that has sugar in it unless you make it yourself. So for example, even noodles have sugar in it. But if you get the ones that got like the chia seeds or the lentils or what was it, chickpeas, then they don't. So they do have noodles that have chickpeas and they have lentils, so it just depends. So I didn't want to be on here for too long because I have another podcast I need to do right quick. So I just wanted to come on here and do this video right quick. But yeah, even though you may not have the answers that you want, if you have to go out of town to find those answers, do whatever you need to do to make sure that you're able to get the answers that you need to do when it comes to your health and wellness. Don't let nobody tell you that you're crazy and there's something wrong with you and that it's nothing. If you know it's not nothing, keep on going to doctors until you figure out the one that's actually going to help you. Don't give up, because some people will sit up here and say one thing and then do something else. So with that being said, I thank y'all for joining me for this episode. I appreciate y'all. Without y'all, there is no me. I hope you guys learned something. But the next episode, give me a second. I gotta find it. I gotta find it. The next episode we will be looking at something called like heartbreak syndrome. Okay, I see it. Heartbreaking syndrome. And we're gonna go into this. So, but I'm gonna share my screen what it actually means. So bear with me a minute. Hold on a second. I put the wrong word. Syndrome. Heart. Hold on. Heartbreak. Heartbreak syndrome. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen so I can show y'all what I'm looking at. The next episode, this is what we're gonna be talking about. Broken heart syndrome. Okay. Now, a lot of people do not realize that this exists, but it does. And this particular thing happens more in people than others. There are people that die from this. If you ain't never seen Imitations of Life, please go watch it, because Imitation of Life is why that black woman passed away, because she died of a broken heart. Y'all think they don't exist? Yes, it does. Now, this right here is some of the symptoms. It says sudden severe chest pains, main symptoms, shortness of breath, main symptoms, weakness on the left vertical of your heart, main symptom, irregular heartbeat, low blood pressure, heart peritone, I can never pronounce it, and fainting. So we're going to go into this because a lot of people don't understand that heartbreak can cause physical damage that you don't even know that you're going to go through. And the reason this is important because a part of recovery is this right here, heartbreak syndrome. But I'm not just going to talk about it from a physical perspective. I'm also going to talk about it from a mental perspective, because a lot of people don't understand heartbreak syndrome also hits you mentally. So we're going to talk about that as well, because it needs to be talked about, because a lot of people don't even know they have heartbreak syndrome. A lot of people don't even know that really you're dealing with something that right now is so holding you back from stuff, y'all, I'm here to tell you I'm going through it because I had to come to a lot of realizations. Physical is going to affect you one way or another. So a lot of y'all who think that you break up with somebody and the fact that you can't get over it, that's heartbreak syndrome. Heartbreak syndrome, where it's affecting you physically when it comes to heart attack. Well, something that feels like a heart attack, but it can be a panic attack. It can be a physical anxiety. So heartbreak syndrome can be something where even though mentally you can handle it, physically it's causing damage because the stress from the heartbreak, the stress and the pain that you're feeling, your body feels it too, just in a different way. So the way your body feels is not the way your brain feels because your brain just thinks, it doesn't feel. Your body feels whatever your brain is thinking. So if you are obsessing over why this person did what they did, guess what? Your body's going to feel it. So we're definitely going to sit down and break down heartbreak syndrome because we need to. It needs to be put out there because some of y'all are really going through it because trauma, when it comes to trauma, it can come from heartbreak syndrome. And heartbreak syndrome is not just romantic, it's your family, your friends, anybody that you love, anybody that you care about, they have wronged you, you have heartbreak syndrome. And the problem is you have not dealt with the situation. So every time you're around this person, you start having chest pains. Or say, for example, it can be a job, whatever it is, every time you're around this thing, it affects you in one way or another. It impacts you in one way or another. So, but yep, I think that's it for me because I still got one more video to do. I still got to do the one about African melanin queens because we're gonna talk about DDG and Halle Bailey because we need to have this conversation because I'm really tired of young girls getting pregnant and they're not married. I'm really tired of young girls letting men trap them and now they stuck with this man the rest of their life. Before I go, y'all know I got to do my biblical scripture for the day. So, and then I'll do my prayers in a minute. So, my biblical scripture for today, as soon as I find it, it is, y'all know I like doing
Galatians 5, verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Hey guys, Chris Langham here from Through the Word. We help you understand the Bible and keep your Bible habit with daily audio guides through every chapter. Now, Galatians 5 is the fruit of the Spirit. Fruit is what grows naturally from a healthy branch. Jesus is the vine, you're the branch, and the fruit grows when the Holy Spirit flows through. Now, what strikes me here is this fruit is what everyone wants. Love, joy, peace. We chase this stuff in relationships, at work, or at bars, parties, in a bottle. But notice in the context that Paul contrasts the fruit of the Spirit with the works of the flesh. The flesh chases after lust and ambition. What is it that we really want? We want love, joy, peace, the good stuff. And it looks so great. Okay, I got to try one. These look so good. Now, sorry, here's the truth. The whole world is chasing after the fruit of the Spirit, but these are fake. The works of the flesh will never get you there. And Galatians explains two ways that we get this wrong. Now, one is obvious, chasing after lust and sin. The other is more subtle, trying hard to be good Christians by following rules and striving in your own strength. It might look real, but it's not the Spirit. It's just your flesh trying to look good. You still reap what you sow. If you want real love, real joy, real peace, you have to sow to the Spirit. Let the Holy Spirit guide your life. For the whole story, read Galatians. For more help understanding, join me for Galatians Explained. If you want good fruit, live by the Spirit.
Best way to put it. I agree. Because That's what we're doing as far as our health and wellness. It's like our health and wellness is the last thing that seems to be the most important. We're too busy worrying about relationships and proving something to people and making sure everybody else is good, but you're damaging yourself by doing that. So you go to a doctor that is telling you, oh, nothing's wrong, and they don't have the equipment to immediately examine you, and you got to go and wait until you can get an appointment to go see the doctor you really need to see, versus just saying, okay, let me call the doctor and just be seen. But no, you need a referral. Give me a second. I'll call it back in a second. So that's the problem. Sorry, I gotta fast forward this real quick.
Galatians 5.
So even though, so it says here, I'm gonna read this: the fruit of the Spirit produce. Paul, the author of the letter in Galatians, spreads a large part of his letter explaining what it means to live by the Spirit of God. He describes what it looks like for Christians to live according to the Spirit, and also what it looks like to live apart from the Spirit. One of the key distinctions for those who live according to the Spirit of God, is that they produce certain external qualities. Paul calls these the fruit of the Spirit. Just like an apple tree produces apples and a vine produces grapes, so we as Christians also meant to produce certain things in life. Paul lists 9 character qualities that should be evident in someone's life if they're walking according to God's way: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Just like the fruit of the tree isn't meant to be the tree itself, but for others, so also the fruit of the Spirit of in a Christian life is not meant for themselves, but for others. We are to love others and take joy in one another, have peace within one another, and be kind to one another. The fruit of the Spirit is meant to be grown and harvested within Christian community rather than in isolation. We can create we were created for relationships with God and others. Take a look at the list of the fruits of the Spirit produces in a Christian life. Be honest and ask yourself, which fruit am I producing? Which fruit am I not producing? Why am I not producing it? Take notes of a few small steps you can take to grow closer to God in those areas of your life and produce more fruit. Now, see, this is where I have a problem. Okay, the reason why, and I learned this because God. This is the thing. I've read. I'm learning. I'm learning the Bible as we speak. Everybody's on this thing about others. I just said that God said to help others without destroying yourself. There are going to be times you're going to have to be alone. There are going to be times you're going to have to be with people. You have to balance that out. There are times that people are going through journeys that nobody around you can understand. Friends, family, nobody. And there may be other people that don't know you that may be able to help you more so than the people that know you. So what I want people to understand is that when it comes to these situations, there will be times you will be alone and there will be times that you'll be with somebody. But if you sit here and depend on other people to sit there and be there for you 24/8, that's not going to happen. For you to think that somebody's got to stop what they're doing in order to help you, don't expect that, because that's not true. At the end of the day, the way people are in this world, they take advantage of that. So you have to learn that, okay, listen to certain things that make you say, okay, I'm not going to deal with this person at all. So, for example, if a man says, I've been having sex and I'm out here, no, he's not the person for you. If he's someone that is running around committing crimes, he's not the person for you. So at the end of the day, you only supposed to help people that want to help themselves, that want to be saved, not the ones that don't. You can't save somebody that don't want to be saved. You can't continue to let people come in your life because people saying you need to socialize and you need to have a husband and you need to have a man. No, that is not what that means. God, just like Jesus had his moments where he was alone. Jesus wasn't around people all the time. And when he was around his disciples. He was not around people that he didn't know. It's just like that one woman that touched his coat because he was sick. She was sick. And what did Jesus say? Even though you touched my coat and I probably should feel some type of way, I don't. But you're not for everybody. People that are God are not for everybody. And that's the part that everybody keeps messing up when they say that it's about others. Hold on one second. Matter of fact, let me call my mama because it's her calling me now. So I'm getting ready to call her right quick, and I'm gonna end this by saying this: you gotta balance when you choose to deal with people and when you choose not to. Because, like I said, if you bring the wrong people into your world, they're gonna destroy everything you stand on. They are. They're gonna suck the life out of you. And where people get confused is when people say, "Oh, I can say what I want to you, and it's okay for them to say it, but you can't respond." It doesn't work that way. It's like people are telling people that no matter what somebody say to them, they have to sit there and take it. They have to ignore. No, you do not have to ignore it. But what you do need to say is, "God bless you," and keep it moving. The problem is negative people aren't going for that. That's not the reaction they want. Negative people want you to react the way they want you to react. They want you to cuss them out. They want you to get mad. They want you to go off. They want you to do all these things. Trust me, I'm a living testament of it. So that's what they want. And when you don't give them the reaction that they want, they get mad because you're sitting up here letting this person know, look, I don't care how you think about me. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not going to do this with you. The problem is they're going to keep attacking you until you do. And that's what the problem is. And that's what everybody don't want to talk about. There's nothing wrong with giving. Nothing wrong with it at all. But give to those who gonna reciprocate what they give, because people want you to give and not expect nothing in return. No, there will become a time that I may need you. I may not need it right now. It don't mean that eventually I'm not gonna need something in return. That would be a bold-faced lie if you think that you're not gonna give something and eventually not want something in return. Everybody eventually gonna need something. So the same way you came to me asking me to do something, I may not ask for the money right away, but eventually I'm going to need that money back in some type of way. So I'm going to come to you and I might ask you for help. And if you tell me you're not going to help me, I'm not going to be mad about it. I just ain't going to deal with you, because at the end of the day, this is how people mess up the scriptures, because they're sitting there thinking, I got to be a people pleaser. I got to be a seatful. I got to be type of saver hoe. No matter what this man does, I got to stay with him. I got to stay with him because of the lifestyle. No, you do not stay with somebody that is a non-believer. Jesus also said you don't mess with people that are non-believers. Believers and non-believers shouldn't be together in the first place, because that non-believer is going to suck you into their world more so than you sucking them into yours. So no, you have to know when, okay, yes, socialization is very important, but when it comes to your personal life, when it comes to who you date, when it comes to who you marry, that's a whole nother entity, because if you bring somebody that bring chaos, you're going to be screwed, because that person is going to destroy everything you stand on, and they're going to keep on going. So that's what I'm saying. You can be a godly person and just not be a fool. That's that. I can say it just as straight like that. Just don't be a fool. So there's nothing wrong with helping people. Ain't nothing wrong being there, people. But understand, you may not get that money back. You may not get what you gave them back. So understand, if you can afford to lose it, then hey, give it to them. But if you can't afford to lose it, don't. Because a lot of these people are not going to do for you what you did for them. They're just not. A lot of people are not going to listen to what you got to say. They don't even care. They got what they wanted. Now they're moving on to the next person. So a lot of people will leave you in ruins, lead you in damage, lead you in trauma, lead you in a bunch of mess that you ain't even want to be into. And now you're in a situation where you're dealing with the aftermath. That's when you shouldn't be. Can't always be nice to everybody. Not everybody deserves everything that is you. And you lose your blessings because other people are taking your blessings, and they call blessing stealers. I can talk about that too, because blessing stealers are definitely people that will destroy your life more so than anybody. So understand that even though these people that are a man can't find the answer, if you pray to God and say, look, God, I just want the answers, and I just want to find out what's wrong. I want to find out what's wrong before it's too late. God gonna send you the answers. He gonna send you the answers just as clear as day. So, with that being said, I'm gonna call my mother back and see what she wants because she just called me. So I just wanted to come on here and do this video right quick. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, but my throat is feeling a lot better, but I'm still gonna be in silence for a little while. But I just want to do this video because I feel like it's important that when it comes to your health and wellness, please don't take that as a joke. Anything that's going to impact your health and wellness that you consume or acknowledge, or any decisions, choices, actions, behaviors, or the consequences, repercussions, and karma to your actions, behavior, choices, and decisions impacts you physically and mentally, internally and externally. So you got to start making better choices and understand that if something's not meant for you, don't go after it. Don't go after anything that's not yours, that God did not say was meant for you. Because if it ain't, it's not, and it's okay if it's not. Just do what's best for you, do what works for you, do what makes you happy, and that's it. Whatever's meant for you will come. Enjoy your life, live your life, and do what you feel that make you happy. That's it. So that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me for this episode. I'm going to call my mama. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive notifications of my videos. But just know this. Your health and wellness should be the most important thing to you. Anything that jeopardizes it, you shouldn't want it at all. So with that being said, I'll talk to you later.